Tell me why I got hit with a copyright for that fucking Hulk Hogan song. And it was lower than it was the last time I used it. Did it get hit with a copyright for?
Our president-elect is going to make sure that everybody gets every dollar that they deserve from now on, so.
Well, you can't put me in jail if you didn't put that bitch in jail.
Quickly, Kanye's never going to run for president, but Kanye, get better, man.
What the fuck?
I'm a huge Kanye West fan. Like, I listen to his music, and you hear music, you hear music the way I hear music, and it kind of gives you an insight on people's lives, and he says a lot of crazy stuff in his music.
He's gone.
He's
still gone.
I just don't want it to be and I hate to say it, and I don't want it to ever go this far, a Kurt Cobain situation, something that far, something that far.
Did he get out the hospital yet? Is he still in the hospital?
Yeah, he's still in the hospital.
What, dude? What was that? What?
I hope he gets better. And
people
have different depression. People have different
right.
And honestly, I think it's something to do with the mental thing. And it's a close thing to me because I had friends go through it. I've had family members go through it. I've had people very close to me go through it. So I hope for his sake, they can get this figured out, and because he's a talented human being, but on top of it, it's just not worth it.
He's always been out there,
right?
Clearly, mentally, and I actually thought in recent years, he's been getting better.
Yeah, well, it's been more controlled in recent years.
And then this shit happened over the weekend. You play 2 or 3 songs at a concert, and then you start ranting,
and then he left. That's sad. That's sad. And the last song he played, he brought Kid Cudi out and it was the first time they played the new song, and it was crazy. I listened to the video, and the people were just going insane. I mean, they were singing every word for him. It was awesome. The video was incredible to watch. I was hoping I could save a little bit of money. December 13th, he was going to be playing in Philly. I was hoping to see him. I'm a huge Kanye West fan and love the new album. It's sad. And I've been listening to a lot of, now that Christmas is coming around, I'm listening to a lot of Christmas music. But right there before that, I was listening to a lot of Kanye West. I don't know why, I just had the feeling. But
yeah, at the concert, they were all singing that last song, but then at the end of it, what were they saying? F you, Kanye?
Yeah, because he bounced, yeah.
As they should.
I agree. No, I agree. But he needs to get himself fixed. He needs to, hopefully, whatever it is that.
Could you imagine being at that fucking show and having that go down?
I would be very upset.
I'd have lost my mind.
I'd be very upset.
Wait, no, he's
That's a waste of a night.
No, he's playing.
That's a waste of a night.
Right. It's a waste of a Saturday night.
And honestly, if you were there,
my money.
If you were there, the feeling that you had singing that last song was probably so intense that you were so excited for the rest of it because it was such an intense moment that you were like, this is going to be an incredible concert. And then he goes on his rant and you're like, okay, that was a little off the wall, way more than usual, but all right, let's see what's next. And then he just left.
Yeah, let's talk about Beyonce, yeah.
The politic part of it, whether he's right or wrong, whether that really happened or not, the politic part of it always needs to get out.
Some Illuminati Jay-Z shit.
We all know how much I love Jay-Z, so and I hate to see them two going at it. Obviously, look.
He thinks that Jay's about to put a hit on him.
Beyonce doesn't like him. They didn't go to the wedding. Hov went to the wedding, but that's why it was TV'd a little different than it was supposed. It was supposed to be like an inside access on the TV, and it was actually a lot of it was cut because Hov was there, and part of the agreement was he didn't want to be on the E special. But obviously Kanye wanted one of his best friends to be at his wedding, so that happened. But Beyonce was not at it because she did not even want to be close to it. And Kanye and Beyonce were very close before the whole Kim thing. So that's where most of this stems from. Now, has it gotten worse? Are there other things behind the scenes that we don't know about? Probably. Jay-Z owns Roc Nation. Roc Nation owns Good Music. Good Music is Kanye West's label. So I'm sure there's things going on behind the scenes that we probably don't know about. But this is what Jay-Z does on a side note with, Dame Dash. This is what he does with people that he's very close with business-wise. He cuts them out eventually. No one ever sticks around in Jay-Z's life for a very long extended time, and Kanye's had the longest run. He's one of the best producers ever, so it would be sad to me if they weren't friends anymore and we don't ever get to watch The Throne 2 and we don't get to see them, but I agree with you. It's over. I just want Kanye to get better as a human being, and then we'll take it from there as life. But
no, he's gone. He's gone.
I hope not.
Ain't no hope for that man.
I hope not.
Ain't no hope for that man.
I hope not. He has 2 kids. Hopefully, he can get his head back, level-headed. He's got a lot of I know he's got a lot of good investments, and I think a lot of things that he wants to do in the fashion world to lower prices of extremely high-priced fashion stuff. People that pay a lot of money for these, crazy outfits in Paris and stuff like that. He wants to lower that down for the average person to be able to buy in stores one day. He has a vision to do things like that. I understand that, but like he wants to do better things for the world, and I would like to see him get through this and then hopefully go follow his dream and do that, because that would be incredible. Anything to help the world, especially in this time of need that we are all obviously in. So
here's the situation. Kanye doesn't run the world. They run the world, and as long as they run the world, and it ain't girls, it's they. They run the world. The prices are all gonna stay what they are, so he can, heal the world and all that shit. But I mean, that's only gonna get you so far. It's not actually gonna happen.
Well, didn't mean to get into a Kanye West rant there, but
I mean, maybe him and Johnny Manziel can be boys now.
Hopefully, they both fix themselves. Look at Bieber, man. Bieber turned himself 360. He wasn't as far as either. He was never as far as either of them, but he was on that path, and he turned himself completely around.
He's better.
He's a lot better. He's a lot better of a human. He is.
Maybe.
Sports.
It's better than this.
Too sweet! Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jarrett Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. It's the week of Thanksgiving. You're wearing the boys jersey, I'm assuming because of that. I mean, it is obviously.
This is what they're going to wear.
So, happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching JD Sports.
Most definitely.
You can follow our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. How was your weekend, Dwight?
Cool.
Yeah,
Chill.
Everything good?
Yeah, it was alright.
Before we get into, because we're an NFL show, I know you don't watch college football. I want to do a little small impromptu. I'm just saying, and it's not really an I'm just saying. I just want my own little segment here for just a second, because I have something very close to me that I'm getting extremely frustrated and angry about, and it happens on Saturdays. That would be
I knew this was coming.
Notre Dame. So we're going to get into, they just got some sanctions put down on them, but we'll get into that. I was actually, before the sanctions came down, thinking of doing this, because I am frustrated watching this team play very good offense throughout an entire game and then just not be able to tackle. We are 9-10 weeks into the season now. They are. Yes, it is over. But they have 5-star athletes up and down the field, and the excuse of they are not experienced is not an excuse anymore. The Texas game, okay, I get it. And if you want to go for another game or two, maybe, all right, I get it. Maybe they couldn't been able to tackle in those games. The Duke game that I was watching it with you. They couldn't tackle in those games. That's been their biggest problem the entire season. They fired their defense coordinator at one point throughout the season. The game this week against Virginia Tech, they had a lead. They had a pretty sizable lead. I think it was 10 points at one point in the fourth quarter. They lost the game. They could not tackle. And down the stretch, they could not tackle worse than anything. And it's just. I try to defend Brian Kelly. I try to defend him, and I try to defend him, and I try to defend him all season, because he, up until the sanctions, has been the best coach and has had most success in my lifetime, consistent success. He took him to the national championship. Nobody else has ever taken him that far. He took him to the Fiesta Bowl last year. They were literally a 2-point conversion away with a freshman quarterback in his second game on the road at number 2 in a hurricane loss away from going to the playoff last year and being undefeated. So, Brian Kelly has had a lot of success there. So and Kaiser is the best quarterback. Brady Quinn's my favorite quarterback of all time to ever go through Notre Dame. He is my obsession. He was the high school, when I was in high school, he was like the dream quarterback. Whatever, Notre Dame was good at the time. They were a couple plays away from beating a USC team that cheated their way to the national championship because they beat Notre Dame on a cheap play that you can't do. Anyways, the Bush push. We don't have to talk about it, Reggie Bush. So, other than those years, and Brady Quinn was the man, but Kaiser is the best quarterback to ever come through that system. He's the most pro-ready quarterback, and I'm afraid after this bad season, he still looked amazing. Even in the loss, he looked really good. I'm afraid that he's going to go to the NFL. Now, they did come out and say on Tuesday that he is still undecided. It scares me. I hope he doesn't go to the NFL, obviously. I think they are still talented, and now that this defense will have a year under them, I hope that they get better. And their offense, Brian Kelly's an offensive coach. Their offense is at the height that they have ever been while he is there. So it's kind of hard for me to be like, yes, just fire him. But on the other side of it is, this is getting, it's starting to get undefensible because, this is as bad as it was with Charlie Wise in his last year, and now he had 2 bad seasons when they fired him. Tyrone Willingham had 2 bad seasons when they fired him. I think Davies had 3 bad seasons before they fired him. So, the trend is they give him more than just 1 bad season, they fired him. But on Tuesday, sanctions came down. An athletic trainer was doing homework, apparently, for the kids on the undefeated team in the year after. Now, can I side note behind the curtain, because you know how I like to do the whole, take people behind sports. The NCAA is the most corrupt group in America. Like, FIFA is the most corrupt sports organization in the world. The NCAA is, without question, the most corrupt in America. When teams get good out of nowhere, Ohio State a couple years ago, they get investigated, basically. People just start picking at everything they possibly can. Auburn, when they had Cam Newton. Florida. Like, you could just go through. Whenever teams who aren't good for a good long time start to become good again, people start to pick at trying to figure out, because everyone's breaking rules. It's everybody in the entire thing. Everybody is breaking rules. Well, Brian Kelly basically came out after the sanctions and said the reason that they are giving us these is because that is all that they could find on us. AKA, he's saying everyone else is doing 10 times worse, and we will take, we're going to fight these, because the punishment is a little worse than the crime compared to other times that the NCAA has put sanctions down on people. But A, it's Notre Dame. And B, I think Notre Dame holds himself to a way higher standard, and the NCAA wants them to follow that if that's what they want to do, which Notre Dame does. But B, I think that was Notre Dame kind of standing up in the face and being like, we're still trying to do it the right way. Now, as a Notre Dame fan, I've been saying for years, I would like them to be like Alabama, Ohio State, Florida. Look, those kids aren't going to class. Most of those kids are getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. Look, Notre Dame is the richest boosters in the world. If they are not paying their kids, there's something wrong going. There's something going way wrong because you're at an unfair advantage. I'm hoping that they are cheating out there because everybody else in the system is cheating, so why not go with it? Now, that was Brian Kelly standing up basically being like, haha, they couldn't find anything. Because Ohio State, when it happened to them, Terrell Pryor, who is now a wide receiver for Cleveland, but he was the quarterback at Ohio State, he was going into his senior year. He was going to be a Heisman candidate. He traded his second Big Ten championship ring for a tattoo. Got suspended, couldn't play his senior year. Their coach got fired. It was a big scandal. But that's all they could find on Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But they got good all out of nowhere, and then boom, 2 or 3 years later, they're investigated. It's not a coincidence. This is haters hating, trying to figure it out how to bring you down. You know what I mean? They don't like your shine. So, and to most of these teams' credits, if they are doing dirty work, which most of them are, it's covered up really well. Cam Newton never got in trouble for what happened.
NCAA for him. That's college football.
It's college
in
sports,
general.
but
they're a bunch of scumbags.
So, I just had to get that off my chest. Look, I don't know if they fire Brian Kelly. I don't hope for Brian Kelly to get fired. I'm okay if they do fire Brian Kelly.
I don't even know. I don't think that's the situation. You're talking about tackling, and that's the big issue. You're saying that's the issue with your team. They gotta get a defensive guy in there, and they gotta recruit better defensively. Well, there you go, because that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're out on the college level and you don't know how to tackle at this point, why are you here?
Right. Well,
then that doesn't make any sense.
I'm okay when they're in their first and second game as freshmen, not being able to tackle a couple of really big seniors. No, because it's a different level of football. Maybe that level, but that's not everybody on the defensive side. Right.
That's not everybody, though.
Right. But it was most of those players. So the first couple of games, I will give them credit. But here we are now 10 games into the season. Look, you've been doing this now for 10 games. So you should be able to. You are as good as the other side. It's just that you didn't have the experience that the other side had. Now you have the experience that the other side had. They are better than Virginia Tech. They are a much more talented team than Virginia Tech. It was obvious that they were a better team than Virginia Tech. They were a better team than 6 of the 7 losses that they have this year. But guess what? They just look ridiculous on defense. They're giving up 30, 40 points in games, and the offense scored 35 points in this game. You shouldn't lose.
I just don't see how tackling it comes down to the coordinator.
Not just the coordinator. You got to recruit better. You got to do all of it. The suspensions in the beginning of the year were what had this rolling downhill the whole way. The stuff that came down on Tuesday is now going to be another bad thing. Brian Kelly has a couple of blemishes under him. There was a student athlete that shouldn't have been in a lift that was in a lift during a storm filming practice, and he fell out and died, and that was under Brian Kelly's watch. Now, was that Brian Kelly or not? Some people claim that the head coach had nothing to do with it, and then some people are saying that's ridiculous. The head coach has to be on top of everything. I don't know. I don't understand how those. I'm not part of the direction and scheme of that, so I have no insight. I couldn't help anybody on that. I hope that wasn't Brian Kelly's call, but if it was, shame on him. And kid should have never been in the lift. Anyways, there was another incident where a guy apparently raped a woman, but it didn't hold up in court, and then she ended up killing herself, and the kid continued to play. And now, did he or did he not? It didn't hold up in court. I don't know. And is that the reason she did it? I don't know. But is this Brian Kelly's fault? I don't know. But there's a lot of things that are on top of going, you know what I'm saying? And this is college football, and it's a sad side of college football, and it hurts me. And like I said, I don't. If they fire him, I'm not against it because there is Les Miles out there. There is the guy from Houston out there. Chip Kelly.
Sorry,
he's not going to leave the NFL.
Oh, please.
He's not going to leave the NFL.
He's doing everything in his power to get out of this deal.
He's not going to leave the NFL.
Bet.
He doesn't like boosters. He doesn't like the college aspect.
Well, he ain't liking the NFL anymore.
I think that I think San Francisco wants to build with him for 2 or 3 years before they give up on him, and I think he wants to do the same. I think they were prepared for this season. I don't think they wanted Kaepernick or Blaine Gabbert to be their quarterback of the future, and I think until they get the quarterback that they are ready and settled with, a Deshaun Watson, a DeShone Kizer out of Notre Dame, until they get the guy that they would like, that they think can run the system.
I thought Kaepernick was the guy that...
But Chip Kelly never said that. Chip Kelly just said he's going to be better than Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, I forgot.
Fans were saying that.
I forgot the Messiah didn't make a decision. I think the Messiah is ready to leave. But anyway, regardless, back to Notre Dame, or are we done?
Well, I mean,
I don't see him staying.
So you don't see him making it through. You think they fire him?
After this year, maybe he'll do one more year, but outside of that, I don't see him staying. So he's not any good. He's not a good NFL coach.
Well, if he stayed, Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Brian Kelly.
No, I mean Chip Kelly, but yeah.
Okay, so anyways, we'll get into the NFL now. I was just needed to get the Notre Dame side off my chest. It's frustrating. As a huge Notre Dame fan, this is the first year that I'm actually just like. It hurt on Saturday, but it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt that bad. Usually I'm in a mood and stuff afterwards. Like, whatever, like that. It's been all year.
Right. Just been trash all year.
It's sad. So, moving to a not sad part for you, the Dallas Cowboys looked very good in the second half. Again.
Just done on one.
Again.
In the league.
Against the Ravens. The Ravens who stood up in the first half, I give them credit. They stood up to Ezekiel Elliott. They had the front seven to do it. I said that at the beginning of the day. Mm-hmm. They were the best rush defense in the league. Their secondary wasn't super good, and Des Bryant exposed them. Dak Prescott exposed them. Ezekiel Elliott got his yards because of that. It opened it up for him, and he, has the talent to just be running through people, especially if it's one-on-one, and he was getting a lot of one-on-ones there late. So he did his thing. The second, again, I told you last week, he just gets better and better and better. Did you see in the post-game press conference when Dak Prescott was standing at the podium that the reporter said to him, he goes, Dak, every game, every fourth quarter, you just get better than the last one. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't say anything, and Dak stood there and he looks at him and he goes, is that a question? Like, it's a true statement. Mm-hmm. And I said it last week. If Dak got blown out in the next two games and lost, both of them, he would have been my quarterback in that third game. This is another game that just proves to me if it happens in the next two games where he gets blown out, he's still my quarterback in the third game because of how good he has looked. And this is a good Ravens defense that he looked good against. Defense looked good because the offense was wearing and, able to do what they always do in the second half. Run the ball, keep the clock moving, keep the other team's offense off the field. Steve Smith got his, and in the second half, Flacco started to get his. Flacco started to get his, and I always talk about how good Flacco is down the crunch time, and they did look good down the crunch time, but they did not look good early in that game. Well, they looked good in the first drive. They looked really bad from the first drive after they scored that first touchdown until the middle of the third quarter, and then they ended up looking like they world beaters, and they could trade blows back and forth. But Dallas was already up 10 points, couldn't do it. So. It was a little odd seeing Tony Romo standing there in pads and a headset. Haven't seen that since he was a rookie.
It's gonna continue that way. Presumably, it seems like at this point, every single damn week it's something new. But it seemed like now this week, the trade rumors and him leaving seems to be a big thing again at the end of the season, which I don't know.
So are you on my side that Dak's the guy for the rest of the season no matter what? Unless he loses 4 in a row.
I felt that way for a couple weeks now, but I've been saying that's not what Jarrett wants.
But now you think that's where they're at?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That was impressive.
I don't know.
That was impressive. I don't know. Again, it was impressive.
To me, again,
big stretch down the end though, right? Because they have division games coming up here for the in 3 of the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. It doesn't matter what I say. It's all what Jerry says, and he seems like he's on the Dak thing just because it's by default. But I don't know. To me, if you're not impressed, If he wasn't impressed up until this point, beating Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh, beating Green Bay and Green Bay, if he's not impressed with that, but he's impressed with the Baltimore thing, then that's, I mean, yeah, they have a good defense.
Better defense than both those.
I mean, it's more impressive to go to Lambeau, go to Pittsburgh to win. So I disagree,
but he looked good at the end of all those games. He looked good at the end of the Eagles game.
Right, but Baltimore should be a determining factor.
I'm not just saying that's the determining factor. I'm saying that it is now at a number that you can't argue. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good games in the fourth quarter that he was the one throwing the blows. He was the one putting the ball in the air. He was the one. I mean, he put them on his back there in that drive in the second quarter. 1st and 20 they were at one point, and he put them on his back. He got them the whole way up. They're the real deal. If their offense continues to do this, they can beat anybody in the league.
Still don't like their defense.
I don't like their defense.
I don't care how.
Either. But unless you're the Patriots or the Seahawks and you can score 20 points in the first half,
that's different.
But you have to score 20 points in the first half, and the Seahawks only scored 26 points against the Eagles.
The Seahawks can do that against the Cowboys real easily. Real easily. Our secondary, I still don't like our defense. I don't care how good our offense is to make our defense look better. The Ravens expose our defense and how bad it is, especially in the secondary.
But every week in the second half, look, Carson Wentz looked great against them in the second half. Ben Roethlisberger looks great against them in the second half. Okay. Joe Flacco looked great against them in the second half. So every week this is happening in the second half, but the teams are still only scoring under 20 points because it's not happening until the third quarter because the only time that teams are on the field for an extended period of time is in the third and fourth quarter, and it's too late. Dallas is already up 7, 10, 14 points, and it's too far.
I still don't buy it. I don't trust my defense enough. I don't like you can keep throwing out all this shit all you want. I still don't buy it. Like
I think
when we face a legitimate threat, like you're talking New England, Seattle, when we face that, I don't care what Seattle did against Philadelphia. But when we face that legitimate threat that can do that and that has been there and has that experience, I don't know how we're going to react.
I think Dallas is one of the best teams in the league right now. I think they are legitimately the best team.
Well, we are,
the best team in the NFL.
Our defense still just isn't any good. And as great as our offense is, I just don't know if our defense is going to still hang on. I thought we looked better when Tony Romo was our quarterback, honestly.
I think that they did not.
And that was 2 years ago.
There's no way. They've never won 9 games in a row. They didn't win 9 games in a row.
That has nothing to do with how good the defense looks.
Well, but the defense wasn't any better that year.
I think. Well, for my eye test, not looking at the stats of the dumb record, I'm saying I thought defensively 2 years ago we looked better than what we have looked. We have too many holes in our secondary, dude. It's horrible. I think Tony Romo did a better job with our offense. Because I think he kept us off the field more than even Dak is. I mean, he really kept them off the field, especially in the second half against the Ravens.
I think in the second half, though. But I think in the second half, Romo did keep him off the field more. But I think that what they're doing in the third and in the fourth quarter, Tony Romo was not doing. I mean, Tony Romo is not the always just blows the game he did in big situations. But throughout his career, he was very good in fourth quarters throughout the middle of the regular season, without question. He was always very good in fourth quarters. Other than those games that were on the big spotlight. But Dak is doing this not just once, twice, 3, 4 times throughout the season. He's now done this 7, 8 times. I mean, 9 wins, and their only loss was by 1 point at home in his first game, and it wasn't even his fault they lost that game.
It's impressive, but like I keep saying, I'm still waiting.
Nobody's been able to go up them and actually tame them. The Giants didn't tame them.
No, not yet. Not yet, but I still refuse to completely. We look very good. I think we are. I can't even say we're the best team in the NFL. Our record says that, but that doesn't mean that they're the best team in the NFL. I think they are definitely 2, if not 3. Definitely, probably top 2. But regardless, I don't buy into them. I need to see what's going to happen when they really get punched in the mouth by a real team that's going to always come back, like Tom Brady. He's always going to score. Okay, Dak, yeah, you're good, but I'm better.
Roethlisberger always scored in that one. Carson Wentz scored every time in that one.
Carson Wentz, don't even... God.
But he was trading
speaking of Carson Wentz, remember when he was the next great thing and now... Oh, wait. Now it's quiet on him. I'm waiting for that reality check. Just like Philly got that reality check, I still expect to get that reality check. Are we going to get it? I don't know. It might not be to the playoffs.
Carson Wentz looked like a rookie in Seattle this week.
It might not be into the playoffs until the Cowboys finally get that punch in the mouth and it's like, oh,
Dallas is going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
That doesn't mean anything. Historically, we're not good at home. We are at this point in this year, but I mean, we gotta wait and see.
9-1. I think Dallas is legit.
You would? No, I'm not arguing that. I'm trying to be optimistic. I like certain Bird fans.
The Ravens are in a very tough division.
Division sucks this year. They're all mediocre.
So they all have weird records, and no one's pulling away with it. You know who's in the best division? The NFC East. The
Still
Cowboys.
understand.
That's crazy. In the beginning of the year, we didn't think they were, and look at now they are. Everyone's 500 or better. Everyone's 500 or better. And the losses.
I don't like it.
There's only 3 losses out of division. Only 3 losses, and one of them was the Eagles in Seattle this week. I want to get into that. Russell Wilson, man. I mean, he looks 100% healthy. He is, I predicted him to be the MVP before the season, him or Tom Brady, and this is why. I mean, this has been he's looks incredible when he's healthy. The Eagles even look good against them. They were trading blows. They were a Nelson Agholor bad lineup away, and then a Nelson Agholor drop 25 yards down the field wide open away from literally trading touchdowns back and forth with Seattle, and who knows what happens. I'm not saying they even win the game because down the stretch, look, Seattle, their defense is that good. Their scheme is that good. We were talking about
defense isn't.
They only give up 26 points. There was only 3 really, really bad plays.
Only gave up 26 points? That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points in the NFL, really.
26 points?
I wish I had the scores in front of me. There was, how many teams scored probably over 30 this week? I would say there's probably 10.
That is a lot of points.
So there was only 14 games.
26 points is a lot to give up.
I don't think so.
Kidding me? Are you
really?
kidding me? 26 is...
Dallas only scored 27 this year.
Oh my gosh.
Or this week.
Oh my gosh, that is so many points. Good for them, because they have a good offense.
And I'm not 26. Also on top of it, the Eagles went into Seattle. I mean, that's a tough Seattle offense to do that against. So I'm not saying the Eagles should have won by giving up 26 points or anything, because my rule is always 25 and more you should win. But at the same time, I think the defense looked pretty good, especially with all the turnovers were happening. Carson Wentz looked like a rookie. He threw
for like the 3rd week in a row.
One bad not in a row, because the other ones were pretty good. The home games are good. They're undefeated at home. All their losses have come on the road.
How's that touchdown interception ratio?
Not as good as Dak Prescott's. Dak Prescott's is 3rd in the league.
That's what trips me up. Everybody was I don't think Dak Prescott's an MVP. But everybody talked like Carson Wentz was, but now Dak isn't. Like I didn't think either of them were,
Carson was going to be the MVP.
But people were acting like he was the next great thing, but
I think he's
Dak isn't getting
the road here, but
Dak isn't getting that credit now.
I think Dak's going to be really good down the road as well.
I don't think he's getting that credit though. That Carson Wentz, people were slurping him up, especially Pennsylvania people were slurping him up. But now I feel like Dak isn't getting that type of credit.
Carson looks good, but
how does that work? How does that work? How does that work? I wasn't slurping either one of them. I thought they both were very good. But to slurp up one, but now you're not going to slurp up the other, how does that work?
I think Dak's fits perfectly in the system he's playing, just like Tom Brady fits perfectly in the system he's playing. And sometimes you hit that formula and you get that jackpot, and you end up being just something super exceptional and phenomenal on top of it.
That does answer the question. Why are people slurping up? We're slurping up Carson Wentz, but they're not slurping up Dak Prescott.
Because most of Dak Prescott's passes this week were underneath. I think he only had 1 pass over 15 yards this game. But that's the first time in 4 weeks. First time in 4 weeks, all of them were underneath.
It's 9-1. Who gives a shit?
I agree. That's the first time in 4 weeks. I mean, that's not bad. And that was against the best defense in the league, number-wise. So, hey, why not? I mean, you're 9-1, as you said. Anyways, back to the Eagles. Carson Wentz, 1 bad interception. He looked like a rookie. The other one, he just threw it up because he was going to get hit, and they were going to punt it anyways. They weren't going to get it. I give him the credit. I give him the poise. He was those 2 plays that I talked about with Nelson Agholor. If they happened, Carson Wentz throws over 300 yards against the Legion of Boom. So, as bad as it looked at times, he also had he had moments where he looked good. He's got to work on a couple of things, but again, rookies go up to Seattle and look like rookies. It's not super shocking. The offense, I thought, moved the ball well at times. They kept stalling out at the 50. Man, Nelson Agholor, I don't dress him the rest of the season. I don't. You can't cut him salary cap wise, but I don't dress him one more time. He wears sweatpants You bring up
He will be. That's your wild out.
Bring up Turner. I mean,
that's my wide out.
This is hard.
That's my wide out.
It's sad. So, I still think that the Eagles have the sad part about it. The Eagles are really good at home. They have a lot of games left down the stretch at home. They can still somehow pull it off and make the wild card because they're not totally out of it. They're 5-5. Right? It's crazy. So
trash.
The whole NFC East has a chance. So that's the whole thing. But
the whole NFL is trash.
Russell Wilson, you can tell, Tony Dungy kept saying it on NBC, you can tell he's 100% healthy because the play they ran where he pitches it to Baldwin and then he goes out and catches it for a touchdown pass. They wouldn't have run that play if he wasn't 100% healthy. That was incredible. I feel like, I said about the Bush push, I feel like Pete Carroll has a personal vendetta against me because he was the coach of USC at the time. I can't stand that guy. And I mean,
wish he had a personal vendetta.
2 years ago, he went into Philly when Chip Kelly was having one of his 10-win seasons.
When he was pretending to be a
when Chip Kelly was having one of his 10-win seasons.
When he was pretending to be Messiah.
And Seattle came in and just whooped him in November. It was like late November.
Maybe Philly just sucks.
And then, he made them look really ugly at times this week. The defense, like I said, they put a really good effort out there. I thought they looked good. I know you said 26 points is a lot, and it is, but it was in Seattle, and the offense put them in a lot of bad situations. Also, I don't like Darren Sproles and Matthews getting hurt. That kind of derails a lot of things. We'll see what they do with the running back position. Now you're going to have Smallwood probably as your number one. That's Kenyon Barner. I don't know what they're going to do.
They could figure out what to do with DeMarco, though. Huh?
We have a rough wide receiver situation going on, obviously, with the Agholor situation. Ertz and Selleck look good this week.
Remember when you had Deshaun Jackson? Remember when you had DeMarco Murray? Y'all could have figured out what to do with those two guys.
Chip Kelly might be a racist.
I don't know. Doug Peterson could have figured out what to do with him either. Apparently, do with DeMarco, because DeMarco is top 3 running back in the league right now.
Well, DeMarco was gone before Doug was hired.
Point being, he's a top 3 running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a damn shame.
He's number 2 behind Zeke Elliott.
Does surprise me. Last time I looked, he was 3. It doesn't surprise me if he's number 2.
He's 1,000. I think he's 1,000 even or 1,000 like.
Y'all could have figured that out.
1,002 yards, 1,003 yards.
So imagine if Carson Wentz had that though.
I hear you. They actually ran the ball half well until those 2 running backs got hurt. And before the Nelson Agholor offsides, the Nelson Agholor formation issue. Before that, there was 14 runs and 13 passes, and then after that they went extremely pass heavy because they were in catch-up mode. They were down 7 points, and then the drop from Agholor, 25 yards downfield, they stall out, they punt it after a 3 and out, and then they go down another 3 points. So boom, there you go. 13 missed extra points in the NFL this week.
These people have one fucking job. One job.
I like that it's made it interesting. I like it.
It's pathetic.
You like it?
No, it's pathetic.
I like it.
No, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I don't think we have to go deep into it.
I don't have to go deep into it. I said it's embarrassing. You can't do your one job. 33-yarder. You can't kick that. You can't make that. That's pathetic.
So keeping in the NFC East,
trash NFL. Trash players.
Washington looked really good in the fourth quarter against a really bad Green Bay team. There was a play there in the fourth quarter.
Green Bay sucks.
Speaking of screenplays, there was a screenplay there in the fourth quarter where Green Bay had all 11 guys going to one side of the field, and the only player on the side of the field was the Redskin who caught the screen pass, and he ran. And so then they show McCarthy, and McCarthy looked, or no, I think it was Starks. I'm sorry, it was the other way. It was Gruden. It was the other way. The Redskins had their defense. This was a trash play on their defense. They were the one they had team, and then so they showed Gruden, and Gruden looked as lost as his defense did on the field. It was really funny, though. To give credit to Washington, Kirk Cousins had a huge fourth quarter. Look,
tired of him.
He is going to have such a huge payday at the end of this year.
Remember, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Tyrod Taylor had a huge payday. How bad Kirk Cousins was 3 or 4 weeks ago? He's so good now.
This is so ridiculous. I hate the NFL anymore.
He's so good.
For now.
Aaron Rodgers.
He could suck next week.
I was on him last week because he wasn't looking as good. We talked about it, and I kind of on him a little bit because he always kind of throws people under the bus. He did his part this week. If you watch that game, this was not on Aaron Rodgers. You can tell. It
hasn't been for most of the year.
I think last week was kind of under. There's a lot of his
defense sucks. His running game sucks. His coach sucks.
His offensive line sucks. This is the worst.
It's not him.
He did everything he could. This game was totally on everyone else. They got blown out in the fourth quarter. They looked miserable.
It's been that way, dude. That's how I've been seeing it. It's not him.
Miserable.
I don't understand. People talking. I heard somebody. I don't understand how these people are able to wake up and breathe. Saying, is it time to get rid of Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Excuse me.
6 straight 3 and outs.
Excuse you?
6 straight 3 and outs.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
To start the game, they went 6 straight 3 and outs. 6 straight 3 and outs. How do you do that?
It's all his fault, though.
How do you do that?
It's all his fault.
How do you go 6 straight 3 and outs? That is unacceptable in an NFL game.
He went from being an elite quarterback, an MVP candidate, Super Bowl contender every year, to magically we got to cut him. Get out of here! Stop it. He has no help. His coordinator sucks.
Still made a run there at the end of the game, and then his defense gives up 20 points in the fourth quarter after he scored 7.
They gave
start
up
the fourth quarter.
That team gave up like 2 weeks ago.
So, the other team in the NFC East who was on a hot streak, the second place team, the 7-2 New York Giants. They beat Chicago. They were down 17-3 at halftime. They won 24-17. Jay Cutler had a great first half. Threw a bad interception late in the game and lost the game, but he got hurt.
It was a good day for Dwight. Fucking bum. Hell, he's probably out for the rest of the year too.
So
Jay Cutler. Go ahead, Jay Cutler, apologist. Go ahead.
He looked good in the first half.
Jay Cutler.
189 yards, 7 of 11, 2 touchdowns.
Jay Cutler.
To the Alshon Jeffrey list wide receiving core.
But did they win? But did he win?
Howard had 11 carries for 77 yards.
Great. But did they win? God, Jay Cutler is such a bum.
So, the Giants spent a lot of money on defense. That defense stepped up big in the second half. Their wide receiving core is really good because of Odell Beckham. They look good in the second half. It's the Bears. Overrated. So, Dallas is number 1 in the East. Washington is number 3 because the Giants are 2, right?
I was going to say, I think I would put, without seeing the standings, I'd probably put the Giants 2 in a division.
Down the stretch, though, right, this is set up for a Giants 4 straight game losing streak. This is what they do every year, right? Because they play the Browns, and then
usually they'll finish
beat the
out
Browns.
Strong. So I mean, so now they're gonna.
This is just set
out
for maybe.
I mean, I thought it was gonna come down to Philly.
On their good years they do. On their bad years they finish horrible. But I agree with you.
I thought it was gonna come down to
Dallas.
I thought it was gonna come down to that, but I mean, at this rate,
Philly still has a chance, but they gotta. I mean, they have to stay undefeated at home. They have I think 4 of their last 6 at home. They play Green Bay on Monday night this week. I mean,
we
there's
have
a chance. I'm saying there's a chance.
4 or 5 more weeks in the season.
Yeah,
it's getting close.
It's getting close. Football season's cruising by.
Yeah, it really is.
Just a couple more games I want to get into. Houston went to Mexico City to play the Raiders. There was a laser beam shot in the player's eyes. There was a missed play down the sidelines where I'm pretty sure Hopkins didn't step out of bounds. They said there's a couple of pictures where his ankle might have been, his heel might have been out. That's okay. Human error. That's okay. I'm okay with that part of it, even if they blew the whistle. Okay, here's my thing. So my bigger thing is Lamar Miller on a 4th and 1.
That's
handoff, and they replayed it, and they said that it was not a first down, even though clearly on the replay it was.
I don't understand. That official that marked it short, usually they give them more than what it actually is.
Not even just
that. He gave it so much shorter than what it was. I was like...
Then they did the replay.
Which made it even worse. What the hell?
What's the point of having a replay again? Didn't we go talk about this last week? Do they have to put paint on the players' forearms to see where they fall?
I mean, we already said put paint on the shoes.
So are they going to start painting the forearms to see where...
Most definitely.
Okay, I like that. Black? What color paint on their arms? What's going to show up on the field best? Red?
Well, we got red for the shoes.
Okay, so what are we doing here? Orange?
Orange or yellow?
Yellow. I like yellow.
Let's do yellow.
First down. The first down line, we're going to do yellow. I like that.
You know what? Let's put a microchip inside the actual football.
Oh, then that'll figure it out. Then we can GPS its exact ladder.
I think that's beautiful. I'm going to invent that so I can get paid. Come on, man.
Speaking of Houston and Oakland.
Pathetic.
AC/DC striking again. What a play by Amari Cooper down the sideline there to catch that ball with about 3 minutes left, run past about 3 defenders, break through, score a touchdown. Raiders win. Are the Raiders legit? I told you before the year I thought they were making the playoffs. Are they legit? They're number 1 in the AFC.
As in what?
They're number 1 in the AFC.
Superbowl contender?
They have home field advantage in the AFC right now. Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders would have number 1 seeds.
God, that doesn't even make sense to me. Raiders are good, maybe very good.
Their defense.
Do I believe in them as far as the Super Bowl?
Their defense is worse as Cowboys. I still think New England will go in and trounce them.
I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender. It's a cute story, just like Dallas is a cute story.
I think Dallas is more legit than the Raiders, but the Raiders are good. And I would agree with that. Watching the Raiders and their offense is fun to watch.
Raiders have been very good. They've been surprising to me, but I don't consider them a contender.
Speaking of another team, do you consider Miami a contender? 5 straight wins.
No.
5 straight wins. Tannehill did not look good.
That's now, I'm waiting for them to blow up too.
Credit to LA's defense, but the first 11 drives of the game, it was 5 plays punt, 4 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 7 plays punt, interception, punt, touchdown, win.
I'm mad you actually really memorized that, and that's probably exact if you look
something
it up.
Like that, somewhere around that. But so
stay off the computer.
So Tannehill looked really good in those last 2 drives. He looked really bad in the obviously in all those drives before, but that was only because LA's defense is really good. He's also missing 2 offensive linemen, so those first drives were all because of that. He started to figure it out late. They played on the West Coast. Teams that play in back-to-back games on the West Coast have a really bad record this year so in the second game, and they pulled off a victory.
They stayed at the West Coast, I mean.
Yeah, but most teams do, and like the record in the second game is like I think it was 0-4 this year. So I mean they were the first team to get a win if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They won. They looked good late in the game. Goff. 3 field goals.
This is what they wanted.
He's not ready. He's not Carson Wentz ready. He's not Dak Prescott ready. But
I mean,
he did take 1 snap under center in college, so that's the difference between him and those two.
They need to get him out there. So I mean, let
him
him
suffer. Different system. I agree.
Let him suffer.
Now he's got to learn the
suck.
system, and it was against not a really good Miami defense of any kind.
Right. No, that's why I don't believe in Miami. I don't think that their defense. No, Tannehill. No, I don't care. He has spurts too, just like quarterback in Washington, Cousins. He has spurts. Was like, oh wow, he looks like a great quarterback.
I think Tannehill looked good early, even those losses, even in the loss to Seattle this year.
But then they come back to reality and they look like crap. And then it's like, this is why we're not paying.
They've only looked like crap in 2 games, and it wasn't his fault. And
when they lose,
Ajayi has, I think, 4 games in a row now with 100 yards and a touchdown?
Great. Do you think Miami Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots?
No.
Then why are we having this conversation?
Because I think they can beat the Raiders.
Oh.
Even though I think the Raiders are better.
2 mediocre teams.
Impromptu, I didn't write this down. Last game I want to talk about. Tom Brady, he is from San Francisco. The only city he hasn't played in is in San Francisco. So he goes in there this week, throws 300+ yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yep. San Francisco sucks. Chip Kelly sucks.
Ties Peyton Manning for 2nd most wins of all time as a quarterback.
Does surprise me. I mean, I'm actually surprised that I will say I'm surprised that they were that close already because he's going to be around for another couple of years. I mean, that record's going to get shattered.
So
49ers suck.
Last thing I want to talk about.
Kelly sucks. He's going back to college.
Last thing I want to talk about. I got my little segment of Notre Dame in before, and we always get to talk about the combat sports with you. So I know WWE had a big week last week. I would like to get your kind of perspective on it before we do our picks this week.
I guess you're talking about Survivor Series?
Yeah, something like that. See, I heard, now let me just try to break this down. When I was younger, I used to watch WCW. That was what I first started. I started off on that actually over WWF. I got into WWF during that, the Monday Night Wars. So, Goldberg, I knew he was around. I knew he was back. I was very excited. I heard they were in Canada.
So are a lot of jabronis.
I heard they were in Canada, and I'm a huge Jericho fan, so I figured he was probably wrestling. And also, Goldberg was facing Lesnar, who I like him too. So those 3 wrestlers, right? Those 3 I have a lot of interest in. Lesnar and Jericho are my favorites. If I had to pick favorites, not that I got to watch it or get to watch wrestling as much anymore, but I'm excited. I told you I'm going to start watching it for the sake of the show. I would like to get involved a little more with it so we can, keep that going. Anyways.
That's where all the views are.
Would you like to break down what happened?
The whole show? No, but I will say...
No, Goldberg-Lesnar.
Goldberg-Lesnar, what a waste. I don't even have to get... The match...
Who's next?
The match was 1 minute and 27 seconds long.
Was Lesnar next?
Horrible. I can't even laugh about that.
Did we get a lot of F5?
I can't even... No, nothing. Brock didn't do anything. Not a fucking thing.
We didn't get Suplex City?
Not one.
Spears?
We got 2 spears.
2 spears, yeah. Because Lesnar was next.
2 spears and a jackhammer, and it was over.
It was over.
The main event of Survivor Series.
Just like that.
Like a 2-month build. They've been hyping the video game up on ESPN, on all these networks. Goldberg's on ESPN. He's on First Take. He's on SportsCenter with the coach. 1 minute and 20-something seconds. It was over. Maybe, there's 2 theories going around. The theory, one, is that Goldberg was actually hurt, that he injured himself this past Monday when he was messing around a little bit. Not an actual match, but he was tossing dudes around. Rumor is he might have been hurt, so maybe they had to cut it like that. Or 2, maybe WWE was just going for the shock value of it all, like the whole UFC, quick knockout. But that's WWE, you're not UFC though.
It's not their style.
You're not UFC.
People are there for a long main event, for a good main event, for a fight.
Right.
That wasn't a fight.
We all know it's predetermined. You don't need to do that because they like to blur that line of being real, being fake.
Yeah.
But when they really try to push to be real, it's just like
that was too much.
Why?
Give me a fight. Give me a match.
Because 99% of the show you're saying that it's fake, but then you want this 1% to be real.
We know that.
I don't know what the reason was.
Shane O'Mac getting his head kicked in was real, and that actually hurt. You don't need to try to force the rest of it.
It doesn't make any sense, dude. I was disappointed by it. I thought it was disgusting. I wasn't hyped for it. I don't understand a nearly 50-some-year-old man coming in and beating Brock Lesnar, who's a legitimate badass that can compete in the UFC all day, every day. I was supposed to believe that this 50-some-year-old man could just take him out.
Maybe that's like maybe Lesnar was getting punished. Did he do anything wrong lately?
Not that I know of.
So
he damn sure did get punished for them allegations in August with the UFC.
So
I don't know.
Is it over? Goldberg retires a champion. Beat Lesnar. He's the best.
Christ. Goldberg's coming back for the
2-0
Royal
against
Rumble.
Lesnar. He's coming back for the what?
He's coming back for the Royal Rumble.
Like a Triple H situation where he just walks in with a couple guys left, tosses a few out, wins, goes on, wins the belt, and then he has the belt for like 6 years because he only wrestles once every month.
That's option one. Or option two is Brock. What is Brock going to screw him out of the Rumble?
Oh.
But then what? That sets up another match at WrestleMania.
Jericho screws him out.
No, Jericho's out of it. But Goldberg's already up 2-0. So what the hell sense does it make? What the hell sense does that make?
Kevin Owens.
No, but even fucking I don't care if Goldberg wins the Rumble. That doesn't make sense. I don't care if Brock Lesnar fucking screws him out of it. That doesn't make any sense.
Michael Cole.
Goldberg needs to go home. He's 50 years old. Stay the hell home.
Coach.
I would rather the coach be the champion. I don't understand. The Attitude Era was 20 years ago. People need to get over it. I know people, and we know people, you know people, they can't get over this damn 90s shit. It's over. It's over 20 years old. Member berries. South Park. Get over the member berries. It's over. I don't need these old ass people coming back all the time.
I agree.
It's cute for 5 minutes. I don't need to see it all the fucking time.
As much as I love Jericho and Lesnar, they have to create new superstars. I mean, that's just kind of like the point of your brand here. That's how you.
And Brock Lesnar's been around for at least 14 years,
still
minus like 2 or 3 years he was around.
You're still riding on a 10-man tag match that had Shane O'Mac and Chris Jericho in it.
And Chris Jericho was in it. I like seeing the old timers too, but I mean I don't want to see them in the limelight. And at least Jericho, he was in this. It's kind of a sub, and I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with the sub areas. I don't need to see Goldberg in the fucking main event.
Twice.
In a match that lasted under 2 minutes.
Twice in 4 months of pay-per-views. Twice in 4 months of pay-per-views, he'll be in the main event. He'll be the headline.
And he's going to be the headline of WrestleMania in some capacity.
So 4. So 3.
Yeah.
So 3 times in 5 months?
He's going to be.
Because that's in what, March?
Yeah. He's sticking around. Supposedly it was only a one-off thing, but no. If he's sticking out to the Royal Rumble, he's sticking out to WrestleMania. God.
Do you have anything else to talk about with the WWE? I'm good for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry. I can't wait to get into it so I can add a little more to it. So
I can't wait till there's new people.
Dwight, I know we've been going back and forth and you've been catching up in picks, right?
Maybe. Slightly.
How'd you do last week?
9-5. Not too bad.
I went 11-3.
You're a virgin, aren't you?
So my total record is 93-66-2 on the season.
This man sits in his basement and looks at NFL tape all day, every day.
That's not true.
I got 83-75-2.
So you can still catch me. We're only 10 away. I can have a really bad week this week. You can have a good week. Catch me. 3 games on Thanksgiving, starting off with Minnesota-Detroit. Unfortunately, I work Thanksgiving, so I'm probably going to miss that game. Hopefully I don't miss all of it. But that'll be the game that I would miss out of all of them.
It's not one to watch.
I'm picking Detroit, though. They've trailed in in the fourth quarter of all of their games, yet they are still winning most of them, and they lead the North right now. Minnesota, though, found a way to win at the end of that game on last Sunday.
How about that?
Who are you picking?
Minnesota defense.
I'm also in the second game taking the home team, Dallas, to beat Washington.
This could be interesting, despite the fact that the head coach is crying about having a short week.
It's not fair to them, though. I agree.
I don't think that it's fair, but I mean, you've known the schedule since what, April, May. Now you want to cry about it? You've had months to cry about it. It's over. I'm going Cowboys. I think they're the better team, but I think it's going to be the closest game of the day.
I'm taking Pittsburgh to beat Indianapolis, though Andrew Luck gets it done. It's going to be a fun night at the end of Thursday night. I like the 3 games of football on Thanksgiving, and I think all 3 of them this year have a potential to be good games. Who are you taking in the last game of Thursday night?
Well, I probably won't even see the end of the last game. I'll probably be passed out in some capacity. I'm going with Pittsburgh, though. I think they're a better team.
Andrew Luck looked really good in the first half of the game last week. He looked really bad in the second half.
Hall of Fame.
San Diego taking on Houston. I took San Diego. I don't trust Houston's defense right now. I know.
It's odd. I'm going with Houston just because San Diego doesn't win on the road.
Yeah, San Diego doesn't.
But that's funny how that works out because I always pick San Diego.
Houston's defense scares me right now. They don't look good at all. They didn't look good at all in the fourth quarter.
No.
Also, Osweiler, man, he was as up and down as it gets in the league right now. Just 1 second. You said about Romo getting traded. Would Texans be a perfect situation? It's still in Texas. It's not in the NFC.
He might as well go to Denver.
Giants taking on Cleveland in Cleveland. I got the Giants to keep it rolling, and I got Cleveland to keep their streak of not winning a game this year continuously. Yeah. I don't think they win one this year, man. I have to unfortunately make the disclaimer. I'm finally on the train.
There's got to be one. Nobody goes winless. It just doesn't happen that often.
Oh wait, Detroit Lions.
I said it doesn't happen that often.
History again in the making. I feel bad for a guy like Terrell Pryor.
They're not beating the Giants. There's got to be someone. But they're not beating the Giants.
Their best shot was against the Jets 4 weeks ago.
It was, and I tried to pick them, but
Cincinnati taking on Baltimore. I got Baltimore. They looked really good in that game against a really good Dallas team. And I think the rest of the year against teams that they should beat, they will take care of business. And even against teams like Pittsburgh, when they're healthy, who they're competitive with, they'll take care of business. I got Baltimore at home against Cincinnati.
I don't understand what's wrong in this division, but I'm going with Baltimore just because their defense is so much better.
Cincinnati also lost Joe Bernard and A.J. Green at least for this game. So that's a big part of it with Baltimore's defense.
They're screwed.
Arizona taking on Atlanta in Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta. Arizona's got to fly from Minnesota to Arizona, back to Arizona to Atlanta. I got Atlanta winning this one.
I got Atlanta. They're too hot right now.
LA taking on New Orleans. Jared Goff in his second game, his first road game. As bad as New Orleans' defense is, they played really well at home. And Drew Brees, as good as LA's defense is, I think even if it's just field goals, look what he did against the Seahawks. He scored in the last 6 possessions of the game. I think New Orleans finds a way to get it done on offense. I got the Saints.
Goff's got some practice to do. I'm going New Orleans.
Jackson taking on Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor having an underrated season. He's playing really well. Maybe not up to the high number of that contract that he signed, but at the same time, that's not all guaranteed money. None of it is in the NFL. So either way, Buffalo couldn't get LaShawn McCoy's thumb back in. He dislocated it. They couldn't pop it back in, so he had to leave the game for good last week. He'll be back.
Fantasy team.
He's going to be playing well again. I think he runs all over Jacksonville's really bad front seven. I got Buffalo.
Jacksonville's trash. Buffalo.
San Francisco taking on a hot Miami. I got Tannehill.
Speaking of trash, I'm going with Miami.
Tennessee taking on Chicago. Tennessee almost came back to win. The only thing I'm scared about picking Tennessee to beat Chicago is what's going on, and I know I got some weird facial hair going on, but what's going on with Mariota's stash, man? It looks a little creepy. You just take a look at it next time, and it's a little.
It's no shave November.
I don't want to say porn stash, but it looks like a porn stash. I'm taking Tennessee though. DeMarco Murray looks good. Mariota looked really good in the second half of that game. He plays usually well on the road.
Very good the second half of this year.
2 bad road games this year in the fourth quarter, but overall he's looked really good on the road his whole career. I got them beating Chicago. Obviously, Cutler's not playing, right? So
yeah, you gotta go with Tennessee. Just because Cutler's not playing, even if he was, you still gotta go with Tennessee.
Seattle taking on Tampa Bay. I got Seattle going across country and beating Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay looked good against Kansas City in Kansas City, and not a lot of teams beat them. Kansas City won 17 of the 23 going into that. So that's impressive. I still got Seattle winning.
I think it's going to be tight, but I am going with Seattle as well. I think they're just a better team. But I think Tampa can do enough to compete at least through the third quarter.
Oakland hasn't looked good at home all year, but they did beat Denver at home. Carolina flying across country. I was tempted to take
It's a wet dream for you, huh?
I was tempted to take Cam Newton because of how bad the defense is in Oakland, but I think Oakland's offense will find a way to get it done. ACD still looks so good at the end of that game. Derek Carr is having an MVP-type season. I would say Dak, Carr, Brady would be your guys to pick right now, and I mean I would pick Brady, but it's close. Carr gets it done, I think, against a bad Carolina secondary.
I agree. I'm going with Oakland.
Speaking of New England, they're taking on the Jets. Tom Brady going for his 200th win. If they beat the Jets, he will have 200 wins. That would tie Brett Favre for most wins in the NFL all time as a quarterback. So going for GOAT status, as you would say, Tom Brady, as he does. I got him beating the Jets. I mean, this is the day of this recording is actually the butt fumble anniversary.
So we're overrated play in the history of all of ESPN because they're the only ones that play it.
I agree. I still got Tom Brady beating the Jets.
I got Tom Brady beating the Jets by halftime.
Kansas City taking on Denver in Denver. I got Kansas City bouncing back and beating Denver.
Really? I'm going with Denver and their defense at home on a primetime spot. Absolutely.
It's going to be a very good Sunday night game. That's what I was just about to say. I'm actually excited.
Should be pretty decent. Pretty decent.
Said,
much better than last week.
Fun 3 games on Thursday, right? Which are primetime games, basically. I like the Sunday night game, and then I have personal interest in the Monday night game. So I actually like the primetime games this year. But I feel bad for you. Green Bay taking on the Eagles. So this sets up either of them for a run because both of their schedules set up perfectly for them to win throughout the division and make a run at wild card spots. So the winner of this game actually sets them up somehow. The Eagles, they play their 6 of the last 4 games. This is one of them at home. I got them beating Green Bay because Green Bay's defenses look really bad and Carson Wentz has looked really good at home. Also, the Eagles' defenses look really good and I think they can hold, outside of Aaron Rodgers, the bad Green Bay team down a little bit. I think the Eagles are going to be fired up after last week. I think they learned a lot. I think they made a lot of mistakes and can correct it. I think they looked good the week prior to that. I think the Eagles win. I'm sure this is very hard for you. You picked Green Bay last week to beat Washington, and you probably did it more off of heart than actual reality, which I don't disagree with, but I picked Washington because
I'm picking Philadelphia.
It's so hard though, right? Because Green Bay, it's still the Aaron Rodgers. I agree.
Still Aaron Rodgers, but
the rest of the team is so bad, and we gave up on them a long time ago.
Right. Especially, I've been trying to hold on just because of Aaron Rodgers, but you know what's messed up? I even when I picked Philadelphia, I was like, this is going to be when Green Bay does pull out and win. It's just going to work out that way.
Their defense is one.
Man, the team is just
their defense is ranked in the bottom of the league.
The entire team, the organization, the coaches, the running backs, the defense, their offensive line, they've all given up on Aaron Rodgers.
He has a lot of quote unquote personal things going on, they think as well. So not good.
That doesn't help. But right now today, Philadelphia is a more complete team just because of how bad the rest of Green Bay is. Aaron Rodgers is better than anybody on your team, but outside of that, doesn't matter. Philadelphia.
I'm very excited for a fun football weekend. This is supposed to be, talking about Notre Dame, usually my favorite week of the year when they play USC. They're actually 26-point underdogs, so I'm not excited this week. Luckily I work, so until halftime I won't be able to pay attention to it anyways, which makes me very happy because, man, it's usually my favorite week of the year. I love the USC week. It's the biggest. It's like that's Eagles Dallas. You know who I dislike more than I like Dallas? USC.
That says a lot.
That's how bad it is. Yeah, it's USC. It's USC, and then the Dallas and the Penguins are right there. The Mets and Marlins aren't too far behind them with Washington and the Braves are all kind of, and then the rest of everybody else. But anyway, so.
I just got all Philadelphia teams.
I'm really excited for that. Speaking of the Sixers, 4-game home win streak. Embiid is looking good. The Lakers looking good.
You would try to squeeze in the fact that Philadelphia
4-game home win streak.
Woo! So what y'all 4-10 now?
Without Ben Simmons and Nerlens Noel.
Trust the process.
Without Ben Simmons and Nerlens Noel.
Yeah. Trust last place. Trust last place, Philadelphia.
Anybody want to tell me more about how Russell Westbrook's getting a bunch of stats? Because what did I say before the year?
You know what's funny?
What was I saying before the year?
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't. What's that? They lost to the Pacers.
So what? It's
without
NBA.
Paul George.
So what? It's the NBA. You're gonna lose some games. Who cares? The Warriors lost to the Lakers.
Some games, as the day of this recording, they're on a 5-game losing streak.
The Lakers lost. The Lakers beat the Warriors. As the day of this recording,
they are on a 5-game losing streak.
2 years in a row, Lakers beat the Warriors.
As the day of this recording, Oklahoma City is on a 5-game losing streak.
And as the day of this recording, as of 2 or 3 days ago, and I actually looked, the Thunder are 4th or 5th in the West. Where are the Sixers in the East?
I'm not saying the Sixers. The Sixers aren't trying to win today.
They ain't trying to win tomorrow or next year.
Yeah, they are.
Oh God, trust the process.
A little more.
Yeah, trust.
2 years from now is when they start to try to win, and then the year after that is when they really want to make that run.
Russ
Lakers, though, man. The Lakers are looking good.
Russell Westbrook is still a monster. You still can't take that away from him.
I'm not taking that away from him, but I was saying he's not going to be able to do it all on his own.
Of course not.
Everyone thinks he's going to.
Of course not. I think he's still going to be a 7 or 8 seed in the West, but that is impressive in the West.
How about the Tattletale? He's playing a little well too, and Swaggy P's having the best year. The Swaggy P's having the best season of his career early in the season.
The Lakers already have a better record than they did last year. They're not making the playoffs, so let's not even go there. But I mean, they're playing very well actually. They're getting a lot of surprise wins. Good for them. Hey, keep it going. I like what I'm seeing. The young players are coming together under Luke Walton.
Your little brother is the best team in the league, though. That's sad. The Clippers are the best team in the league right now.
Please.
Right now they are. Right now they are.
Great. So, are you taking them over the Raptors, the Spurs?
They beat the Raptors
the
by
Warriors,
like 20.
In the playoffs. Are you taking any of those three?
I think they would beat the Raptors if they had to play the Raptors in a playoff series.
Well, first of all, they got to get to the finals,
they
so
would
that's
lose
not
to
happening.
The Spurs.
Losing to the Spurs.
They're
losing to the Warriors.
They wouldn't beat the Cavs in the finals if they
wouldn't beat the Cavs.
They would have to be so beat up to get there.
They may or may not beat the Raptors. So what are we talking about here?
I think they beat the Raptors.
Like I said about the NFL situation, I mean, eventually the NBA is just going to level out because, like I said, right now...
Once LeBron's out of the league, it'll level out back to as even as possible.
I mean, right now the Lakers are competing. They were tied for like 5th the other day in the West in the playoff spot. I was like, wait, what? And we're actually, that same day that I looked, this was a couple days ago, we were 2nd in the league in points.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yep.
Behind the Warriors, ahead of the Cavaliers? Excuse me?
The Warriors' defensive efficiency.
But we have one of the worst defenses in the league.
It's number 1, except it's actually number 20 because in blowout time they're number 30th in the league, so it kills them. They're number 1 when the game is within 5 points, one way or the other.
That's a surprise, man.
It's incredible.
Does surprise me. Like I said, eventually.
When is it ever in 5 points though? At the same time, because they're usually probably up 10 in the first quarter.
Yeah, right. Like I said, eventually all this stuff evens out, but right now, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It's too early. Far too early. Lakers aren't going to be in the same spot. They're not going to be 2nd in points. They're not going to be in a playoff hunt. The Thunder is going to be lower. The Sixers are going to be where they're at. Everything just levels out eventually.
Well, Dwight, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving.
You as well. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the people who view. Good luck to your Cowboys.
All 4 of y'all.
Yep. Hopefully a little more this week. This has been fun. Good night, Australia.
Peace out.